Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia lost can be found. This video is my look at Alfonse and Veronica's Trials from the Fire Emblem Lost Heroes Rerun event. If you are brand new to the game, I hope this video helps you learn some of the mechanics in these fights and gives you a shot at clearing them within the event duration. These are two battles that you really only need to clear once in order to get all of the good rewards from them. If you clear them once, you're going to collect an endeavor where you get a Champion's Testament, and you're also going to get some Wormite for your clear. I would suggest that you try take on these trials in co-op if you are new to the game. These are going to be a lot easier done in co-op. You're going to have greater DPS potential with your random teammates that join you. And if you don't know how to set up a co-op room, there's also options to pick Seek Help or Clear Quest Endeavors, in addition to just doing quick play or trying to find a room on the co-op page. Co-op uses Gather Wings, and I see a lot of new players have 99 Gather Wings, which is the maximum, because maybe they don't know that co-op exists, but co-op does exist for these trials, even though it's not available for the Alberian front. So Veronica's Trial, similarly, co-op is an option. Veronica is a shadow enemy. Alfonse is a light enemy. Of the two, Alfonse's Trial is definitely easier. And even though I would suggest you try clear these in co-op, you can use solo to practice. And we're first going to take a look at Alfonse's Trial. So we'll switch over to that now. I'm going to be soloing it with my Veronica. If you're new to the game, you're probably not going to have the DPS to actually clear successfully in solo before the time runs out. But the benefit of playing these solo is that you can learn the patterns at your own pace and learn when you need to cast skills in order to avoid taking damage from the enemy. So I do think if you're able to stay in these fights solo until time runs out, whether or not you have the damage output to clear the actual battle, that is a good indicator that you are ready to take on co-op. You know the fight pretty well, you know when to dodge and when you can safely attack. So I would suggest that trying this solo first and then going to co-op when you're ready for your clears is a pretty good way to handle things, regardless of whether you actually have the real DPS you need to clear in solo. So in this case, because I have some high dragon weapons, I've been playing the game a while, I am confident that my Veronica can solo this Alfonse enemy here. And after this, we'll take a look at Alfonse soloing Veronica. So I think Alfonse is the easier trial, and part of that is that there's just a lot of good shadow adventurers that should make this easier for you. A lot of them have had their mana spirals unlocked, and so when you go into co-op, you're probably going to find people who have some pretty powerful characters right off the bat, and if you decided to summon and go for Veronica yourself, she's certainly a good character to use for this. Veronica does get powerful or more powerful when her HP is low, but for the purpose of this, I was trying to demonstrate dodging, since your character might or might not get more powerful with low HP, whoever you actually end up using for this, and so that's why I've been dodging and using my skills when Alfonse does his dash or rolling out of the way. But in reality, it doesn't hurt you to take a couple hits as long as you survive, and it would actually help Veronica's DPS here. But that is pretty much it for Alfonse's Trial. We're able to get to the end. You really just want to watch out when he throws out those large purple attacks like the Pinion Flare and Afterburn, that you are not casting a skill when those happen, because if you get locked up in the skill cast, then you could very easily die. Obviously, we didn't get to the very end of the fight there, but basically, once Alfonse enters overdrive, he is going to throw out that large cone, that purple cone, and even after you break him, he's going to continue doing that. He also has that purple line attack that summons purple squares to the left and right of it, so for that, you want to dodge to the side. I think it's easier to be ranged character in this compared to a melee, but if you are a melee and you're fighting off against that big cone attack, one thing you could do is roll through Alfonse to get behind him. Here is the Veronica that I was using for this. So like I said, she is pretty geared out. Your Veronica or your character will probably not be as geared out, but you'll have the benefit when you do go to co-op to try clear this of 3 other characters and their DPS. But doing it in solo, you get a sense for the patterns. I think it's a pretty good approach. All right, that is pretty much it for Alfonse's trial. So now let's switch to Veronica's trial. And this was one that is harder for sure. I struggled with this one. I tried clearing this with some budget teams and helpers over on our Discord. And it's pretty challenging if you just have the Alfonse from the event and say like a Lindworm, which is a 4-star light dragon that gives you strength, and the Folkvanger weapon from the event. It's not going to be that easy for you because you can easily, if you mess up and get hit by one of Veronica's moves, you could easily die in 1 or 2 shots. This move, Oblivion Fall, does a lot of damage, so you're going to want to watch out for that one. And the Grim Surge move that she just did there with that beam, that can poison you, so that's also kind of a risk factor. Ruinous Ring, you want to stand in close. If you're on the edges of that or in the middle and you use a skill, you could be in trouble. And just generally speaking, if you're using Alfonse for this, he does have relatively fast to charge skills. They're not the fastest of any sort of adventure, for sure. But basically, I'm just trying to cast my skills relatively frequently, sometimes save them for a good opportunity where I could use my first skill and use my second skill while the first skill's buff is still available. Once Veronica enters Overdrive, you're going to be doing negligible damage to her. And so at this point in the fight, you're not able to really break her unless you clear out these shadow clones that she summoned. There are 2 of them here that she summoned, so we need to destroy them before we can break her. And obviously you can see these shadow orbs bouncing around the arena are a huge threat. If you're playing in a team, you might have higher DPS and you might be able to transform into a dragon in order to tank those. But me by myself, I don't have my dragon available. So I did eat one of the orbs, but Alfonse is a character with some amount of self-sustain from his soul. So it's not too bad, not too punishing for us. And we also have Cupid as our dragon to give us some healing. In co-op, you could always look for a room with a healer or set the room condition to find a staff if you're worried about taking too much damage. But Alfonse also benefits a little bit from falling to low HP, so I'm kind of not worried about taking some amount of damage here. Just like with Veronica, he benefits, but not as much as her. We managed to take out one of the shadow clones, and I do think it's beneficial to try focus on one first. And in co-op, hopefully you can try gravitate toward one of them that your teammates are fighting. You do want to be careful. You could see there that like one Grim Surge happens into another. You do want to be careful about when you use your skills here and maybe be a little bit more conservative because you could be coming out of the animation of one skill and meanwhile the next Veronica, one of the 2 Veronica clones, sets up on you and casts a skill on you and you can't react in time to get away. Especially with stuff like this Ruinous Ring and that ball there and now a beam, like things can get pretty dicey in this fight, but the faster you're able to clear out these clone Veronicas, the better, the easier this will be for you. Once you get regular Veronica into break, she's going to take a ton of damage. We really didn't need to use our Cupid skill there. In fact, we might have wasted a little bit of break time, but once you get her into break, it's going to be pretty easy for you to clear. You should sort of just explode in damage and defeat her. And that is pretty much it for Veronica's Trial. So I had some fun taking on Veronica with Alfonse and vice versa. The builds I am using for these characters, as I've said, are more powerful. They are able to clear in solo. You might not be able to clear in solo if you're brand new, but you can at least play out the trial, learn the trial, get good at dodging, and then take that knowledge into co-op. And that was a strategy that a lot of us used last year because this was a hard fight. And there were no revives or anything like that to try help you. But this is the build for Alfonse, just for reference, that I was using. So once again, pretty powerful, but neither my Veronica or Alfonse were mana spiraled. So it's nothing like that level of investment. So if you've been playing a while and you have any characters at all that have high dragon weapons, you could probably replicate this, whether or not they're on element or doing effective damage against the enemy. But that is going to do it for this video, everyone. So thank you as always for watching. I hope that this was beneficial and helpful to you. I did want to take a look at Alfonse and Veronica's Trial, not to forget them, even though we have our second Fire Emblem event just around the corner. But that is going to do it for today. Thank you again for watching. take care, and I'll see you next time.